You already know what this is. Public service announcements, never a safe space. We only do it for the culture. We never do it for the fucking industry. Hi, guys. What's up?
Nothing much, man.
Weird that we're like recording video, because now I don't feel compelled to always speak, because I could just make a face. And so like my apologies. I apologize to all the people who just listen to this podcast, because I'm going to do a lot of dramatic pauses now.
Because you can. Like that. All right, here we go. I mean, shout out to the YouTube listeners. We do have YouTube listeners. The views have been there. So shout out to that. I greatly appreciate you guys. I am Robbie Digital, aka the Culture, aka the Late One. You're gonna just interrupt me in my AKAs. All right, cool. Like I said, I am Robbie Digital, aka the Culture, aka the Late One but the Great One, aka Robbie Quarantino, aka I am 32 and like a freaky 47. I am here. What is up? What is good?
Robbie Quarantino. Oh, yeah.
God is love.
I like that. It's catchy. It's provocative. Gets the people going.
It gets the ladies going.
Yeah, you know I got complaints about. Introduce yourself first. I'm sorry. Then I'll tell you my complaints.
I'll go. I'm Saul Goodman, Lion the Bed-Stuy, Lion Goodman.
Lying ass nigga.
Trapped. No, I'm not using anything until I'm out of here.
You said trapped.
I'm trapped. I'm just gonna continue the narrative.
All right.
It's your girl, Little Mayo. Bones. I'm not the mother of the Mixies. I'm on furlough until we get out of here. So.
How does that happen? Because it seems like thanks to Mr. Goodman, his friends were extremely appreciative of us promoting their OnlyFans content. So that was really dope. So it seems like the Mixies are still mixing. So that's good.
I mean, people are mixy, but I mean, it's too much risk now.
I got
you can't be mixy with
about the nudes that I.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real. True. I almost feel like we honestly need to have a conversation about how we're handling all of this. I know, like, there's definitely we can talk about like Insecure or the Verses or any little stuff, but those are all like basically like filler content to the fact that we're all in our houses all the time.
Thanks.
And we're seeing this whole push to reopen. 49 of 50 states are reopening. And
New York, number one.
No, that's because more people are going to get infected and everything's going to shut down. This is our normal probably for the rest of 2020. Like, can we talk about that? Can we? How are we coping? How are we coping?
I'm not coping well. I just want to point out that I want to send a personal apology to the woman who sent me nudes and listened to our episode and said, I thought you appreciated my nudes. I did. It's just...
My God. It's just for the content?
My God. How do you get clapped in a quarantine? Like, how does this happen to you? How do you always wind up?
I don't know. I just want to point that out. I just want to put that out.
That is awful.
I did appreciate the nudes. I didn't know she was going to be so
upset. Now you backtracking?
You fuck that up. How do you fuck up receiving nudes? Jeez, man.
Anyway,
Rob, Rob is not handling nudes well, and he's also not handling the quarantine.
No,
this quarantine is killing me.
Just so
this quarantine is
in relationships, in communication, in podcast.
All right. Oh, enough. All right.
Ooh.
Get it.
Unbelievable.
We get it. Yeah, I'm not handling quarantine well at all. I think it's kind of been in like stages. Like the first 2 weeks, I was like, oh, vacation. This is great. I don't have to do shit. And then the third week, you know, LLC Twitter and 9 to 5 Twitter is like, if you're not working, you're dying. What are you doing? You need to better yourself. And I was like, you know what? You're right. So I signed up for like 4 online classes. I finished my Sneakers Essential class for FIT. Shout out to Sneaker Essentials and Complex Magazine. So I finished up most of that. I started just working, like just doing things like, yo, I gotta finish this. I gotta read 7 books. Like, why I'm not reading enough? And then the 4th week, I was like, I don't want to read no more. So after that, like, junk food became terrible. Like, I was just like, I don't even want junk food. Like, then I just started transitioning to like more healthy options in the supermarket, because I was like, yo, I don't even want any of this. But then I realized I was eating the healthier food faster than the junk food because it was healthier. So I figured if I ate it more, I'll be more healthy, but that's not how that works. So I went through that.
Literally not how any food works in any sense of form, but okay.
So then the 6th week, I was like, all right, I'm gonna go running again. So I'm like, all right, cool. Got my running stuff. I started doing like a mile 25, a mile every other day. But the problem was I'll go run and then go back in the house. And I'm like, well, now I'm just eating again. So whatever calories I burnt, I just ate them again. So it's just like, it's just a vicious cycle. And that's where I'm at right now, where I want to do better and I can't. And I'm thoroughly jealous of the people who are really maintaining their sanity through this. Especially if someone like from you guys, you know what I've been through in the past 6 months, like just work shit and then like trying to battle anxiety about being outside and then being fine with being inside. But then when I go outside, everybody's in a fucking mask. So I'm trying to figure that out. Being in the elevator with like 4 niggas and all I see is hoodies and scarves. And I'm like, what is going on? So it's been a lot. Like it's really been a lot for me. Like, at this point, like, I'm just getting up early in the morning when I know no one's outside, just to be outside. That's where I'm at. Since you wanted to know, I mean, that's where I'm
at. Okay.
Yo, that's fucking deep. I do feel for the extroverts. I do feel for the folks that maybe just love just exploring the world around them, and now they can't. Personally, like, I've been going a little bit stir crazy because there was a lot of uncertainty when it came to like my job, when it came to health of others. As I said, I've lost 3 people to this virus, and if I feel like if you have a lot of elders in your family, or a lot of elders, you should be especially cautious during this time because they're the most susceptible. And it got very stressful for me through all of that. But I have taken up other forms of being creative. I do play video games now, but it's for a little project that I have cooking up. I've taken up painting. Actually, I won't even describe it, but I'll show it. You should check out YouTube if you're curious. But here's my latest piece.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I like this.
It is. I am working with a few titles. They're usually like something tongue in cheek. So as you see what it looks like, I'm thinking something along the lines of like passion of consumerism or some shit like that. I'm thinking I'm working with it.
Okay.
And I go for walks, but I do now know that my job is closing its doors until September 1st. And it's most likely the same decision that everything else around me is going to end up making because of how bad it's been in New York City. I have taken up interior decorating of sorts, getting rugs and frames and
Biggie pictures.
And No, that's actually my girlfriend's, and somebody made that. They painted that for her years ago.
Okay.
It's just in our second room, where we kind of come to be creative, or to work, or to have interviews, or to talk to therapists. I've also got a therapist, a black male. I think I talked briefly about it, but he's awesome, and it's so nice to just be able to cut through the bullshit. You know, I spent eight sessions, and then you start doing the math on 8 sessions, like, damn, I done spent like $240 on this person, and I hate them. You know, because I spent like 4 of them trying to explain to this person what it is to be stopped and frisked and how that feels.
Yeah,
I cut through all that bullshit with this guy. I like him.
Okay.
That's it. That's really it.
That's beautiful, man.
I can't say that I'm having the same experience with quarantine, but also too, I realize it's because I don't live in the city. I think living in Jersey is a very different experience. I have a car, so when I want to take a drive, I'll take a drive. So I feel a little safer. I don't feel as anxious as I'm realizing people who live in other states and other more urbane settings. You know, I can get toilet paper. There is no fighting in stores. It's just lines. And, I live in a house. So it's, there's a level of safety you feel because everybody's in cars and there is an option in most stores to just drive up and pick up your stuff. So there's less of interaction with public overall. And even if I want to go outside, I live in a neighborhood. I could bike through the neighborhood. I can go in my backyard, sit there and play my music and have a basketball court. So I'm not having the same thing. I think the only thing I personally miss is work because I just enjoy working. And there was a lot of projects that was kind of on the cusp that I was about to start in other states and stuff like that. So that's really my thing. It's like I'm missing work. I mean, it just sucks being inside. It is depressing. You do get in black holes of like, I've played Fortnite 3 nights in a row at 4 a.m. It's ridiculous. My birthday's coming up. And I was supposed to be going out of state. That's not happening. So I think that was the only thing that I'm really like blown about because I was looking forward to traveling with my girlfriend, but that can't happen now. And, that sucks. But also too, she lives in another state, so I can't even travel just to visit her, just to hang out. So I think that's probably the most difficult thing. But overall, I think there's a little bit level, I feel, of safety and at least some level of calm outside of watching Donald Trump on the news fucking it up and talk about stuff and seeing other states go crazy because their state has opened. I think living in a suburban neighborhood has, I guess, eased a little bit of the ills that I see some of my friends in urbane settings I live in. So I'm just trying to ride it out, but I would like to get back to work.
Jade, as a creative, though, I guess for you and your expertise with styling and designing and fashion, this is going to be a new normal walking out of this.
That's the only uncertain thing. Like, at least if everybody, I think that's the only uncertain thing, but I also can't stress myself about that. Like, I can't stress myself about an unknown. It literally is unknown. There's so much retail clothing. Like, retail is closing every day. Like, so much retail is closing every day. So I can't stress about what I don't see yet. Like, I have to worry about that when I know what it's going to be. And I don't think, and that's the thing about fashion, like, because there is going to be a new normal, we don't know what the new normal is until we can open. So I can't really plan for anything. I have to just go with it. I think that's the only thing. But also, too, I'm not going to stress about it until it till anybody decides what it's going to be. Nobody has decided what it's going to be. So it's just an open-ended question that everybody has to see how it plays out. So I think that's the only thing with me. I just don't want to stress about it. There's already enough to stress about with people and making sure you're just being safe. I could just hope for the best, but I'm sure it will come back. It's just going to be very different. I'm curious to see what it is, but I can't say that I'm going to drive myself crazy about it because nobody knows what it is. Even big companies, they don't know what to do. So
I think I'm in a kind of the same space. Doing like, as you guys know, I've been doing a lot of like sneaker shit now, like really digging into sneaker shit and trying to
be an elite sneaker man.
What is it? Being an elite sneaker man. Climbing the Mount Rushmore of elite sneaker men.
I too sit at the table with Clark Kent. We can have that exchange. We're equal.
That's what that means.
So, what happened?
You just living for the moment you can talk to Clark. Like, yeah, I'm here now.
I too.
And he's just to spite you, he'll just say
I don't care about being.
Never give you the satisfaction.
I could care less about being that.
We all know Clark's son to me. Shout out to Clark Kent though. That is the OG. So
he should.
But it's just not like, and I guess that's really where we're at now. Like the beautiful thing about media and communications and sneakers right now is like all of the high level influencers and media personalities in footwear are adjusting kind of well actually, because everyone is home and everyone is a click away. So it's like, even if you don't speak to that person or they're ignoring you or not seeing your DM, eventually they're going to see you or they're eventually going to answer. Like, I've been fortunate enough to get some footwear from out of state places that I never thought I would be able to, just because me and that person had an hour and a half conversation just about life. And that's been really interesting. For me, it's not been more or less, I guess from a retail standpoint, I miss going in stores and like seeing my friends and connecting and bonding and not just being transactional, but really having an experience moment and just doing that. Like, I think Jade could attest, like, Jade loves market walks as much as I do. Just to go and see what's changing and see what's different and see what's coming out and what the city's looking like for the summer, and not having the ability to do that is like really killing me.
I'm also too somebody that's okay with research and finding it in other forms. So yes, well, as I miss that, I just want to see what's going to happen with that. I'm not going to.
I see content is changing this too. Like, I think social media content is changing as far as influencer shit, right? Because now it's just not like, hi guys, so today I'll be showing off
there's still those
my
people,
dunks. There's still those people. But what we're realizing now is people want actual concrete content, something that they can digest, that's realistic, and that they can learn from. So now I'm watching these subdivisions of influencership, whereas there's resource accounts now, where like you have people like Nike Stories, Central Intelligence, Hidden NYC, where these people are creating content as like pretty much like, to Jay's point, like Tumblr pages, but they're super informal now, and people are gravitating to this constant feed of information. Kind of like, it's kind of more valuable than digital paper. Like the same way we felt about magazines growing up, like the Vibes.
Oh wait, I still feel strongly about magazines, so don't include me in that now.
I know, but what I mean is like for the newer kids who are not privy to that feeling, going on these IG accounts and seeing these things are very important to them. And I'm noticing that.
Let's move the conversation forward, like in respect to, okay, you're talking about content and what people, are gravitating toward. We do talk about what is going on and we give our perspective, and people, they appreciate us. They appreciate us in our opinion. So, how do you feel like when you kind of take a step back and you're looking at like the verses? Let's talk specifically about verses. Timbo and Swizzy's venture. I guess I don't even know what it is, but
it's
like, how
definitely
do you feel about being on your phone, one of at some point 700,000 people watching this exchange between artists that we've grown up listening to?
I think it's a great
That
thing.
has been rewarding. That's been really rewarding.
I think it's great because I think a lot of people wouldn't be paying attention to some of these people. I think because in the age of digital content, a lot of things is about forward. Nobody looks back. They look back at certain things. They only look at certain things if it's forward, like certain things back if it fits the narrative of what's happening in the forward. But very few times are people looking back on these legends and things like that. They're kind of forgotten, especially Black legends. I would say like Black R&B legends and producers and things like that. A lot of them have not made content into the 2020s. A lot of them just maybe consult or work on other things or just raise their families, like, honestly. So like, I think it's a great thing. I think it also too makes people more appreciate people's body of work. I think in digital content, it's always about what's the next thing you're gonna do. You posted that, but what's the next? Are you gonna keep doing it? You have to keep the hamster wheel going. And I think when you just take a second to look back at people's body of work, yeah, people have great bodies of work that are getting appreciated, and people are now listening to that music or diving deeper in that. It's not about constantly just churning out something. It's about people who actually took time to create something great, not just churning out quick flashes of things. And I think that's what a lot of digital content is. You just create something, create something you're creating, and then when that hamster wheel stops, nobody knows how to create anything. And I think this is a great thing about art and making art that's timeless and making art that stands the test of time and not making things that are just meant to titillate and, sparkle in your eye for a second, which I think a lot of digital content and a lot of music content is now. It's just something to listen to, talk about in the timeline for a week, and then you're on to the next thing.
And well, I think that's the trouble with and I think Goodman had talked about this, of course, because he's one of the wisest people I know. That was a scary thing about the single era, and with a lot of these artists just constantly making singles and not making albums. Like we watched somebody like Luda and Nelly, their versus battle was interesting because not only were there high A-side cuts, there were really big B-side cuts that you had to know to really maneuver through that. Like, not all of those songs that Luda played and Nelly played cracked the ceiling in the charts. Most of them did, but the ones that we really, really liked, you had to really know to even
that was mostly
really,
Nelly's thing.
Yeah, that was Nelly. I knew everything that Luda played.
For songs that literally you had to be in St. Louis to even remember, because most people were like, "This just wasn't that," or gave a damn about that was for people. Luda played his straight hit.
You had to be white and still into Nelly after Black people had moved on.
Like
there was no reason.
White and still be into Nelly after Black people moved on. I mean, I guess we'll get into it because I guess we'll have an L and we'll see who takes the L.
Wait.
We know who took the L, but we'll get into it.
Mr. Goodman, what's up?
Okay, never mind. Let's
get to the L's.
The first L. I never thought we would be giving this person an L, but man, I feel like I would be remiss if we didn't hand this L, because it would be like we're not paying attention to our timelines. Vashtie Cola, son, like I've never seen someone get like dragged in the past 2 days about their wedding, bro. Like this has been wild. Like it's been articles, it's been Twitter dissertations. it's very interesting because I feel like this half of the culture knows who she is and what she's done, and then the other half, like woke Twitter, is just like, well, she's trying to be black, and I'm like, I don't think that's what it is.
A black person can't try to be black.
I know, but you can't tell Twitter that. Like, you just gotta watch it unfold. I was like, just because she don't look like my complexion don't mean she not black. Like,
that woman's black. Yo, I mean, these new blacks, first of all, y'all fucking up by y'all need to absolutely assume any black person on Twitter that's saying, oh, this person ain't black, they're not black enough, is definitely a troll account. Or they're one of them hotel motherfuckers. You should take anything that they say with a grain of salt. Like, Vashtie is clearly a black woman. She says she's a black woman. I mean, like, the whole premise of this, in the very fact that it comes from black people that are propagating this, is ridiculous to me. It's stupid. It's honestly the dumbest shit ever. And that
be that as it may, you shouldn't let your
how tacky them
be that as it may. You shouldn't let your husband wear Jordan 1 mids to your wedding. I'm not letting that go. Nigga wore mids to the wedding. It's highs only. Highs or lows. You're not wearing Jordan 1 mids to a wedding, bro. We're not. I'm not accepting it.
Is it because, all right, did she, I guess she released the pictures. Is that why do we just want to tear her down for, like,
no, it's
like that? I'm asking a deeper thing, group? Because, like, is it because she's this, quote unquote influencer and she released it that people are clowning so hard? Because I mean, like, yeah, she looked tacky as fuck, but like, y'all going hard on this woman about her wedding day.
I think it's a thing.
That's why I really wanted to talk about it.
I think the commentary was half and half. I think it was a lot of people who were just like, wow, this outfit is stupid. And the half of it was like, I didn't know she was marrying a white guy. But I think it's an overall conversation, I think, in the culture right now, is that a lot of people, whether it be the wokety wokes, the hoteps, or just regular black people, a lot of black people kind of in general in the climate, I think, today of America and of our politics feel like, I'm tired of seeing creative black people when they get to a height kind of get with white people. Because I think most black people perceive white people in some form as ops. Even if you're cool, even if you're down with the culture, you come from a background of privilege. You probably come from a family of privilege or whatever. Or even if your family is cool with you dating from wherever, sometimes your families are still voting against the same people that are now in their family, secretly or unsecretly. And I feel like it's a thing of, like, people don't have a problem with certain interracial relationships with certain people, because there are some prominent black women who are in interracial relationships and nobody talks about them. But I think it's a thing of, like, I think in the commentary of her especially, it seemed like the overall thing was that it's okay if you want to marry a white man, but why do you have to, like, play up your blackness so much because you are wearing a white man? She could have, she's been known for wearing streetwear, but, like, why did you have to, on your wedding day, decide that today I'm going to wear a do-rag? Because I can't say that she's the most woke person or the most black person that's like, I miss door knockers and nails. She's a Indian Trini girl from Albany. So I can't say that she's the most blackity black girl ever. And I guess if people looked at her feed, they felt like, you are not really playing on these tropes of do-rags and symbols of blackness, but on today, you've decided to play on that field. And I think that was the deeper conversation that was had. People felt the way that she's marrying a white guy, all right, fine. But that really is neither here or there. I think it's just a thing because of the political climate of the world today. And I think because of kind of her optics in some way, I think it was just a confusing thing to suddenly see her today of, like, okay, I don't think the outfit overall was anything different than what she wear. I thought that the one thing of the do-rag, sometimes I feel like the do-rag is, like, used as a fashion thing, and sometimes it's this super uber symbol of blackity blackness. But I feel like sometimes it gets misused, and I think that was just one moment where it didn't need to be there. she could have had the same outfit on and took the do-rag off and nobody would have said anything. They probably only would have commented on, okay, he's white and if people want to get into the sneakers, fine. But I think once you put that symbol in that context, in marrying a white man and the whole thing, I think people were like, felt like it was an overcompensation of the message. You can marry whoever you want. But I think just the look of it and the optics of it in this time, coming from that person who's never really played on those tropes, it just looked off. So for me, I didn't really say anything about it because at the end of the day, she's gonna marry whoever she wants to marry, and everybody has that right. But I think some Black people are like, I'm tired of seeing Black creators or Black people when they get to a height, settle down with a white person, and then it's like, yes, I'm a Black person with this white person. Like it's a goal. Like, I married the golden goose. So I think that was more of the thing. And people, when I saw more in the comments, well, overall, all right, she announced her wedding. Fine. That's how she wanted to do it. That's how she wanted to do it. That's up to whatever. But overall, that was what I felt like the deeper conversations had been post the picture since it came out yesterday.
Well, to Goodman's point, let's keep in mind that the influencer, stylish, streetwear girl, there have been underlying beef among like 6 of them for a while that no one talks about. That you kind of like you if you know the Laylee Mays, the Rox Browns, the What's Goods.
I don't
like
think that
there's a lot of like.
I don't think that because of Laylee May and Rox.
No,
really
Laylee. Yeah, they're really cool, but I remember seeing like the slight jab at Vashtie, I think around the time of like the Laylee May and her Complex cover or some shit like that, and Rox was just like, nah. Like there's little jabs here and there that I think we don't talk about. Like, of course.
Well, Rox only felt the way about it because of Rox, because of I think Rox Brown is known, but I think Rox Brown is known on a smaller scale than those 2 other girls. Rox Brown was annoyed because in the article, it was only discussed that the only women who have designed sneakers for Nike who are Black of a streetwear context have been Vashtie and Laylee May, and that's not true. Rox Brown has. But Rox Brown, unfortunately, is not as known as the other 2.
Yes.
I feel like Rox Brown is very known in the tri-state area and maybe LA, but other people probably couldn't pick Rox Brown outside of the fact that they're like, okay, she's just a cute girl on Instagram. But I feel like Laylee May and Vashtie are very known internationally and on a more national scale. So, but I don't think Rox Brown necessarily has beef with those girls because I know that Rox Brown is from New York and knows Vashtie probably pretty well. And Laylee May and Rox Brown are really close. I think it was just an oversight of the people at Complex who wrote the article, and it made it seem like there was beef there when I don't think there really is. It was just an oversight of Rox Brown, I think. But I don't think there's that. I just think that Vashtie is of a different time. Vashtie is of my time, and Rob's time.
It's of our time.
All the 3 of our time. Like, Vashtie is of the early set of streetwear kids in the early 2000s who started off the original wave of streetwear. And Rox Brown and the Laylee May especially is of this, second era of streetwear and, of what it is and this hyper digital content driven streetwear that it is now. I think that's the only difference.
Points made. I don't
think there's any real beef there. I just think that there was just a lot of commentary, but
it was just interesting, like just to see it. I mean,
but at the end of the day,
I would expect more from someone who had a Jordan shoe. That's all I'm saying. Like I would just expect more. Like that would I get the Dior, and then I heard she paid the florist $40 for the flowers or some shit like that, and that was the issue too. Like she was telling the floor.
I mean,
yeah.
This shit is a bit catty. This shit is more than a bit catty.
It's catty for other small reasons, and people took the moment to like really take a pot shot at her. Yes.
Yeah. Exactly what it is. Is the one? I will say that
who they thought she married, but also too.
I think that's fucked up. I mean, like she had announced. I knew that she was dating a white man for like a while now, and I remember when they announced the engagement. Like, yo, if the woman wants to marry who the fuck she wants to marry, okay.
The issue with the flowers, I understood though, because
like I can understand parts of this being like, yo, that's the tackiest shit I've ever seen. It was. It absolutely was. I'm not gonna knock her for wearing a do-rag. Like that's kind of in again, unfortunately. Like as a fashion statement, I will never. I don't try to wear my do-rag. I get it. I understand like the love of it culturally, but you know, I am just not going to be that person that casually wears a do-rag out. If she wants to wear it, I get it. I just think there's a little bit, you know, I can understand the critiques of her style because, yeah, she's supposed to be a tastemaker. But, like, that shit went deep. And I'm like, yo, that seemed a little personal after a while.
Well, I understood the girl's point about the flower. She's like, I have no problem with she's married. My thing is that her issue was that initially the person offered her no money for the thing. And everybody knows that weddings in general, even if you're having a small wedding, things like that, weddings are not a day that you decide to cheapskate on. I don't care what your budget is. That's just a rule. Even if you are having a small wedding, everybody knows you are to pay for anybody's services you enlist, period. And not lowball them, no nothing. So if you are paying for somebody who has done flowers of a certain level for big brands and big companies, you don't expect them to get this museum level work for $40. That is gypping anybody. And the fact that at first there was no money offered to this person that was doing the flowers, and then the only money that was offered is $40 when the flowers technically cost more than that. That was the more issue of it. So as her being a creative, I understood the person making a point of like, you being a creative, you're not doing anything for free because you are Vashtie Cola. But because you think you are Vashtie Cola, you think that you could offer my friend who does great things, who does think great things for big brands, $40 for wedding flowers, which as a creative to a creative is never going to be seen.
That's fucked up.
And that was the whole story, but unfortunately people didn't see that part. If you read...
Nah, I didn't see that. I just saw a whole lot of people that hate this nigga.
Yes, exactly. So my thing is that I understood that woman's point. You are creative and you are supposedly, you know, the black girl creative and one of the worst people I see in the streetwear. But if you are paying a creative for a service, especially a service on your wedding day, whatever that wedding day may be, you are to pay them their full worth and you are not to gyp them, or especially ask them to do it for free. Because even celebrities as they are
in a pandemic,
nah, you pay,
and especially
you pay, and you give the look.
You give them you pay them with their, and this person that she enlisted has been doing flowers for Dior and Prada. So if Dior and Prada can pay them, and you clearly like their work because they work for those people, even offering them free is an insult. And $40 is actually an insult on top of or free. So I understood the friend's point. You're getting all this press. You're on everything. Everybody talk about your outfit, and you can pay the person who even did the flowers. And the person who even took the pictures, who even knows what that arrangement was. So I think it just was to like show that. I think it was a great point. I'm glad she said it because there are a lot of creatives who do things like this, who are like, I'm a person, I'm a name, and then they think that everybody else is so beat to work for them. And I'm like, but you're not doing anything for free. You don't DJ for free, you don't show up anywhere for free. So there's no reason why you should ever offer anybody who is doing something for you free or promo or, you know, what an eighth is in New York City. Like, that just is not cool.
It's a bad eighth. $40 is a bad eighth.
Bad eighth, but my thing is like, it wasn't the right time to bring it up, but I understood why the person brought it up because you're getting so much promo off of this, and you couldn't even be the person who did the flowers. It's the nasty truth, but it unfortunately is the truth.
Well, let's get into it regardless. But
yeah, it is.
I'm praying for some of y'all women out there.
People could let it go. Like
y'all were going in.
People went in. I thought like kind of it seemed like people had talked about it for a couple hours. I thought it was over. But when I looked and I saw people still talking about it into the hours of the morning, I was like, okay, I need to let this go. Nothing.
Yeah, when it was day 2, I was like, oh,
like
y'all
the fact that I've seen articles about the comments, I'm like, okay, this says went too far. We should have just let it rock. It wasn't that deep.
The second L goes to there's a lot of basketball greats, but I didn't realize how much hatred it was on the timeline. So as Jade knows, I did a thread for like all the shoes in The Last Dance, and we got to the Utah Jazz and the Bulls finals, 97, 98, and I post Karl Malone's shoe, which was like the Air Mailman from Apex Athletics or whatever the case may be. And then people just started blacking, like just was like, yo, sexual predator, the highs, Billy Gunn ones, and then everybody just started exposing all this Karl Malone shit. Did everyone know that Karl Malone was like a terrible person?
I did not know that Karl Malone. I didn't. I did not, because this is the thing. I will say this, and as somebody who avidly watched basketball, and I mean, I watched all those finals. I grew up in that time. Karl Malone was not my player. I didn't live in Utah, and Karl Malone was not my. I thought he was a great player. He was a good defensive player, but he was not somebody that I was necessarily a fan of. So once he left the league, he left in a very quiet form. I mean, I feel like for somebody who did not win a ring, like there's people who have went out in a way more bigger form, and Karl Malone just kind of disappeared into the ether.
Karl Malone is a terrible fucking person.
So for me, it wasn't. I know we know that now, but I could.
I'll be real. I haven't watched the final episode. I have not watched the final episode of the documentary, but I also know how it ends.
They don't talk about his checkered past. It just was a thing that was on the top.
He's terrible. He has a son that he does not claim. He did not want to play with Magic because Magic was HIV positive.
Yeah.
I have the thread.
Wait.
I can get.
Yeah. Of all the terrible things that he's done.
So let's start with it. First, he impregnated a 13-year-old.
The 13-year-old. Okay, I thought I was confusing him with what's his name in football that had the prostitute. Okay, yes.
So he impregnated a 13-year-old while he was a college student at the age of 20. He never associated with his son until he was around 18 years old. And this is the son that wound up actually going to the NFL. However, Karl Malone was a father before that, coincidentally, both at the age of 17. Ford and Malone had twins. However, it wasn't until 17 years later, in 1998, Karl Malone accepted the paternity for them. So that's 3 kids.
He didn't even really have a relationship to those girls until those girls became known in college for basketball. And then he started to associate himself really with those girls. And, he goes to their games and things like that. But Karl Malone overall, as one of the NBA players who was considered a big player at the time, he did fade out quietly into the background. And I think because of that, I didn't follow Karl Malone after he left the NBA.
It gets worse. I
mean, I know now.
Let me get to this point.
Finish the list.
All right. So in 1986, Louisiana judge orders Malone to pay $125 a week for medical expenses for the first son. Karl Malone says that's too much money. That year, Karl Malone was sitting on his rookie contract, but he still made over $800,000 a year in his rookie contract.
This is where being a bad father.
Oh no! I'm getting to the good part now.
Yes.
This is the good part. Because now to Jade's point, we remember Karl Malone kind of like fading into the back, right? Do you remember Karl Malone being on the Lakers?
Yes. Like I said, I remember him being on the Lakers, but when he left the NBA altogether,
let's just stop right off. Let's just stop right there.
I'm just saying, it's the truth.
Yeah.
He just dipped off.
He did. So what it seems to be is that when he was at the Lakers, he developed a relationship with Kobe. And him and Kobe were very, very close. But it seems like him and Kobe's friendship went awry when he tried to holler at Vanessa Bryant at a game. So from what Rob Pelinka says, who is Kobe's agent, says what happened was Karl and his son were at a game sitting in front row. Vanessa was on the cell phone talking to Karl's wife, Kay. Vanessa said her son looked bored. Kay told her to tell Karl to come join them at her seats. Kay gave Vanessa Carl's cell phone number, and she called him. When she called Carl, his response was, "Why don't you come over here and sit next to me and give me a big hug?" Vanessa said, "Why? For what?" Carl replied, "If you do that, then we'll be on the cover of every magazine in the country." Vanessa didn't know what to say about this because it was the first time she had ever spoken to Malone without Kobe or Kay being around. Carl continued and said, "You don't like me?" Malone asked her. Vanessa replied, "As a friend and as Kay's husband." From there, a whole bunch of shit happens where she just feels unsettled and uncomfortable. And then she sees him in a cowboy hat at a Lakers game. And he says to her, and I quote, she said, "Why do you have on the Cowboys hat?" And he said he was hunting for young Mexican girls. Karl Malone is a nasty man.
He's a terrible person.
He's
I
terrible.
did not know how terrible
He is a
Karl Malone
terrible
is.
person.
The only thing I knew is that I knew he had slept with the underage girl. I did not know like the Vanessa Bryant thing, but like I didn't know all that. But I mean, like I said, he also wasn't somebody that I was like a huge fan of. So when he left, I was like, okay, he left.
Yeah, like you just felt like he faded to black.
I was like, okay, I remember he was here, but I wasn't like, oh, I need a Karl Malone jersey. I wasn't that person.
No.
I mean, now he has. I mean, I'm sure now because of the 85 threads on Twitter about how nasty he was. I'm sure there's never going to be a Karl Malone jersey, like or any kind of Karl Malone retrospective or things like
lucky
that.
His ass got into lucky he got into the Hall of Fame when he did.
Because at the end of the day, he got in the Hall of Fame because he was a great defensive player. The Hall of Fame does not. Yeah.
NBA Hall of Fame doesn't discriminate. Hey, if you nice, you nice.
NBA Hall of Fame doesn't discriminate. Now, MLB and NFL will be like, listen. Oh, well, not NFL because a lot of OJ's records still exist, but people wanted them expunged. But everybody, the NFL, they made a statement. They were like, listen, he did what he did like 20 years after he retired. He was acquitted. Yeah, he was acquitted, and also he did his thing 20 years. He was acquitted, and he did it like 20 years after he was on court. So they're like, at the end of the day, he was, and he did it when he wasn't on court. He wasn't Aaron Hernandez that was still like playing in Super Bowls.
Murdering niggas.
And murdering homies.
Murdering
niggas. Aaron Hernandez is never going to be mentioned in a certain way, but OJ did his dirt way after he was in the league. So whatever.
And he was acquitted, to Mr. Goodman's point. He was acquitted.
No, that's just complete legalese, just because he was acquitted.
Yeah, I wish ESPN would hire him. I think he would make a great sports analysis.
Hell no.
He probably would be, but he just is too much of a troll. I mean, he puts up too many. He purposely takes too many videos in the kitchen with knives for me to ever look at OJ with any sense of support.
He be at the golf course.
He'd be like, no. He'd be purposely in the kitchen. I want to cut up an orange today, and I'd be like, yo, you and knives should never be on video. But
that's not true.
Y'all be slandering my man. And he had a knife.
He was cutting. So he had to cut something.
OJ, you should never be on camera with a knife. You just shouldn't.
So the man's not supposed to eat?
No, same thing with Fabulous. I don't want to ever see you boxing. I don't care if you're training. I don't care if you're literally working out. I don't want to ever see you boxing, Fabulous, because we know you box your wife's teeth out. I don't ever want to see, I'm training. No, you're not training for shit. I don't want to see you training in a boxing gym, Fabulous. Same thing. For what? What are you working your hands on for? For round 2? No. Certain people, once you commit a certain crime, you cannot be or doing the same activity in any joking manner because everybody's going to be like, oh, so you did it.
And you think it's funny.
And exactly. And you think it's funny to like play in our face like this.
So I want to get to the W's. It's funny because everybody watched the Jordan doc, and yes, Jordan, one would assume like the W would go to Michael Jordan, like Harold is like this superstar, supreme competitiveness and all that. But the W goes to Dennis Rodman this week, bro. Dennis Rodman is the definition of work-life balance, bro. The definition. I don't think it really occurred. What are you laughing about?
No, he's gonna die. Dennis Rodman is a definition of work hard, play hard.
Yo,
he's the definition of work hard, play hard.
So you didn't watch the last episode, but since it's history, I can kind of tell you because it's history.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm not missing anything. I'm not telling you something that's not there. So in the midst of what is this, the Utah finals, right? Jay, this is the final 97-98 finals. They're talking about Jordan and how they beat the shit out of them 95-54 one game, I think game 2, because Jordan felt like they gave Karl Malone the MVP. They gave Karl Malone the MVP and he didn't really deserve it. So, but all in the midst of that.
This motherfucker, because he can say that to the Defensive Player of the Year. And
what you gotta love about Jordan is he's the definition of nobody, and then but I took it personally. No one said anything. But anyway, Dennis Rodman, throughout all this, is nowhere to be found. Dennis Rodman was actually at a WCW Nitro.
Yes,
with
I
NWO.
remember that episode of WCW with him and NWO, and I was like, oh shit, NWO is actually going to take over the world. Okay, like everybody was NWO at that point.
And what was crazy about it is he's chilling with Hulk Hogan, Hollywood Hulk Hogan. Let me be clear. This is Hollywood Hulk Hogan. This is not regular Hulk Hogan. This is Hollywood. This is Scott Hall, Kevin Nash.
This was the
Hulk
heel
Hogan.
turn of the century. This is the heel turn of the century.
This is when we're looking at WWF like, y'all niggas may get back the fuck up. Low key, hot key. Y'all may get back the fuck up.
He's so bored.
So you're watching Dennis Rodman sit here with Hollywood Hulk Hogan, and Hulk Hogan's like, sometimes there's things bigger than a basketball game that you just gotta be around for.
In the goddamn finals.
And Dennis Rodman is like, look, man, I played basketball to make money and fuck women. And I was just like, wow, now that we have that cleared up, mind you, he's saying this in front of Carmen Electra. And Carmen Electra at this time is like huge. Like, I think in the 90s, what is it? It's like
fucking Electra. Now you're just like, that girl in the 90s, but she was Carmen Electra.
It was Carmen Electra, Sidney Crawford, and I want to say Jesse McCartney was like really, really big in that like media kind of space at that time. So for him to be walking around with Carmen Electra was a big deal, but he was still like, yo, I'm fucking women and I'm doing what I'm doing. And then came back the next game and
hard play.
And then they win the finals. He's like, yo, we're the greatest team ever. Don't matter where I be at. I do what I do. It don't matter where I be at, whatever. And I ain't taking no interviews.
Also, too, it's just a thing. It's just a thing of different now. There's too much money involved now. Like now, they're going to make. They're like them owners are not having that shit. There's too much money involved now.
Yeah, now
I don't think.
Now, like you are fucking up the business model. Like, and also too, this is a time pre-cameras. Like literally, like. Now he could never do that. Like everybody would know that you did not show up to practice. You literally left the game, got on a plane, and went to Vegas and hung out in Vegas till the next day and missed practice. Years ago, you could literally do that. And if the press had made such a big shit about it, and if the NBA didn't fine him, nobody would have known that this happened. They just would have put 2 and 2 together because of the timeline, but they would have thought that it was agreed upon. Now, ESPN would talk about this for like 4 days because everybody would have footage of him hanging out in the casino, in the club. Oh, he's in the bar with Drake. Like, it would just be too much of a thing.
Migos just dabbing.
Yeah, he's dabbing. He's throwing money. Like, he's taking pictures. It would be too much of a thing now, so they would just go crazy. But like back then, that it was cool. But now they would go crazy.
I think you
and-
could also just be a degenerate in the 90s, and it was okay.
You could. I mean, clearly, Karl Malone and R. Kelly were degenerates in the 90s, and nobody said anything. So there we go.
Nigga, we got I Believe I Can Fly, and we all sang it, and we knew the nigga was guilty.
Like I said.
If you're between the ages of 27 and 34, you sung
said, you could be a degenerate in the 90s, and it was fine.
Yeah. The second W.
Can I also give a shout out to Scottie?
Yeah.
Can I also give a shout out to Scottie Pippen because he was a whiny piece of shit, and now he's also a six-time world champion. But like God, like damn, talk about never taking one for the team, never taking one.
I had back spasms and
he had migraines. Son, Jordan was shitting and puking at the same time, and he played one of the best games of his career. Fuck you, Scottie Pippen. That's why Future took your woman.
Jesus. All right, what's the next?
He looks like Future and Scottie Pippen look very similar. They put the pictures together.
She like long nosed niggas.
Next W.
They have at least 6'3". We were talking about mics in the 90s, and it was Tyson, Jordan, and Jackson, and we got to talk about Mike Tyson. So Mike Tyson is training again, and he looks scary. Like no one's seeing this. No one's seeing him. Like
I don't need to see Mike Tyson train to know that he's not one of the most terrifying men ever.
I just see him fight again.
You don't want to see Mike Tyson fight again.
No. And this is my thing. When you have started your legacy at a certain point, you're Mike Tyson. You are literally, like you could say Tyson, and we talk about one Tyson. I just don't want it to be a thing where you're Mike Tyson and you could probably still fuck somebody up, but just by the weird, odd chance, I got to see you get knocked out in 2020. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see you go out that bad. I don't want to see you go out bad.
So what you're saying
and that is a fair possibility.
Because 2020 has been such a wash.
It's just a weird time we live in, and I don't want to see Mike Tyson get knocked out as a 50-something-year-old man. I don't want to see that.
Because you feel like in 2020, that would be it. Yeah. So if this was 2019 he beat somebody. 2021, he beat somebody. 2020, he may get knocked out.
I just feel like this year is a crapshoot. Just don't chance it. This year is literally like the simulation thing is broken. Like the lever is broken. And I just don't want to see him push it. And I think that I think it's the Jordan thing. When you're good and you're on top, just stay out of it. Don't tempt fate. Because I feel like if you tempt fate again, you're going to get bit and then you look stupid.
But Jordan, even in that Jordan doc, Jordan felt like they should have went for 7 rings.
Yes, but okay, he could have went for it. But like I felt like then then we could have been, you know what? He could have possibly won 7, or it could have been a KD situation. You get to the finals and then you blow your knee, or you blow an ACL, or Scotty blows a foot, and then you lose anyway.
No, he just blows an emotion, and you got to drag the team again.
Or Jordan got it. He had an injury. He didn't have many injuries, but my thing is that Tyson, you already have legacy status. Leave it be. Don't get knocked out and have kids meme you, and just don't.
Because Evander Holyfield said he's training too.
Who?
Evander Holyfield said he's training as well.
No, even worse. No.
Fucking Evander. I absolutely want to see
bag of beans. No. I don't want to see that bag of bully beef get out there. No. That's definitely not Holyfield.
I'm gonna say.
We watched George Foreman get the title at his age.
But then we watched him get mocked 3 other times after it. No.
George had to start selling grills. Mike Tyson get in the ring. I don't want to see him get in the ring with one of the big 4 or 5 heavyweights, maybe Deontay, but certainly not. I mean, I don't.
We're not putting Deontay. Well, who would win? I'm putting my money. Hold on.
I may certainly not. I don't think Anthony Joshua or Tyson Fury probably would be a good matchup. But that man's 53 years old. I mean, Bernard Hopkins did it. I mean, he definitely got his ass handed to him toward the end. But I absolutely want to see Mike Tyson fight. He's 53 years old. He's still one of the scariest men I've ever seen. I absolutely want to.
Did you see the training video?
He's
I
terrifying.
saw it. I'm gonna be pissed if he gets knocked out, and then I'm gonna blame you too, because then the young kid's gonna be like, "What happened?"
That's what we're here for. I'm like, yo, he's a warrior.
Came off the lawn and got knocked. Like, I'm gonna be pissed if any of these fucking
and I'm gonna be like, he's a warrior.
Crap babies start talking about Mike Tyson. I don't want to see him get knocked out, and I'm gonna blame you too, especially for it.
I'll take that. I'll take that L because I know I won.
Who won this fight? The audience.
Me.
No, I don't want to see him get that. Like Jordan, I'm glad Jordan left when he left, because some of these kids would give him the work now, and I'd be pissed.
Well, we saw that. I mean, once Iverson crossed up,
we saw
Jordan,
Iverson. Once Iverson crossed him up, it was like, come on, man. It was like seeing him bleed. Like, no, I don't want to see Tyson get. No, I don't want to see this.
They won the game though.
Yeah, they won, but still,
they won the game.
You know what? It's just a sign of. It was a sign of things to come, and you just didn't like.
It was scary.
It was like you saw. It was like you saw him bleed, and nobody saw him bleed. And in that moment, we saw him bleed. When Iverson crossed him up, you saw Jordan bleed, and it was like, no.
It was a gas. It was a gas. It was a gas.
Like, no, I do
not
want to see Tyson get knocked the fuck out and then start talking funny. Like, also too, I just don't. Y'all are sick.
You look stressed just thinking about it.
I do, because you know what it is? You know what it is? A lot of kids are already ageist about people of our time. They already think people like LL, anybody that is a legend should go sit the fuck down and raise a family, or anybody who is a GOAT or a legend.
Why do the younger kids call us boomers? They call us boomers like we were
boomers.
Like, I can't believe that I actually thought my opinion mattered when I was in my 20s. Like, I don't care about what these fucking kids think.
Yeah, I don't care what these fucking kids, but I don't want to give them no more smoke. We know we're better than them, but I don't want to give them any reason to laugh about being more my legend.
Fuck them. Who are their legends? Nobody's worried about
them. Get your money, do your movie roles, be the cool motherfucker you are, but don't get knocked out on national TV. No, because they're going to make a spectacle out of it.
I don't think he'll get knocked out. I don't think he'll get knocked out.
I don't want to see
I don't think so. I really wholeheartedly don't think he's capable of doing that. Speaking of champions,
you could be strong, but you just may not be as fast, and sometimes
you have more patience. Yeah, bro.
I don't know.
Speaking of champions, let's talk about the champion that is Future. I'm very happy about Future. Future's new album is really good.
Why?
It's really good. I like it.
No, it isn't.
I like it. It's mid.
You're toxic. Of course you like it.
It's not good, even by toxic standards. Like, it's not a good album. It's mad long for no reason. And it's all like damn it. Like, okay, granted, like everybody is saying this, but I know I've said it in the past when there's a certain album that sounds like one song. This sounds like one song.
It is. It does. Like, it's cool. I think this is the problem. I feel like in this age, because a lot of albums are not coming out at this time because everybody can't really promote their albums, or one, rappers can't make money off the album, so nobody wants to release shit. Honestly, that's really what it is. A lot of these rappers are literally living off fumes at this point, and will continue. They don't want to release stuff because they can't tour. They can't make the actual cash, their cut. But my thing is that I really have been really trying to listen to albums because I'm like, do I think this is good because I literally don't have anything else to do but listen to this shit, or is it just really okay? And my thing is like, it's cool because it's new Future music, and it's not features on Drake stuff. It's new Future music, but is it fantastic? No.
I like High Tech. I like Touch the Sky.
It's okay, but I'm not gonna act like, oh, it's Dirty Sprite levels, it's Hendrix levels. No.
Oh, come on. Dirty Sprite belongs in the Museum of Natural History.
Great, but I just think it's okay, and it's just new Future music. fine. I'm not.
I like the way he's talking about Lori Harvey. Look at her being his North.
Whatever. That thing is a waiting, ticking time bomb.
Don't do that to Future. He's happy.
We thought he was happy with Ciara, and look what happened.
No, we didn't. We knew he wasn't happy with Ciara.
No. We knew. We thought that he was happy.
We thought he was happy. Stop it.
Ciara was happy because she was putting out better music.
We thought he was happy. That nigga started dressing differently. He started wearing his hair differently. He was going to runway shows. He was doing a lot of shit he wasn't doing when he was with Ciara. We thought he was happy.
Yeah, and Ciara had better music, and that's how she can't
look how that turned out. I'm not. And Lori Harvey is fucking 23. Please, nobody's putting any stock in that relationship except toxic niggas and niggas who just want to bang her too.
Yo, that's terrible. Like,
she's 23. Did anybody make any concrete decisions at 23?
No.
Just so I'm not putting any
except from my phone bill. Except for my phone number.
That's it. But outside of that, I'm not putting any stock in a 23-year-old girl that looks like that. She got too many options. And he clearly can't stop fucking other people. So I'm not putting any stock in them sticking together for any long period of time.
They seem to be very happy right now.
Yeah, and we don't know. And she's also 23. And she's already been married before, so please. And he has 9 kids now. Please. If she was smart, she would leave.
The point is that this album is not that good.
It's okay.
You'll pick it apart because we're all vultures now when it comes to music, and discard the rest of it.
I think also too we just have more time to listen to it now. There's nothing really else coming out in frequency, so we actually do have more time to listen to shit. So,
it was announced today. Pusha T and Madlib is working on music.
Curious to hear it.
Yeah, I'm definitely curious.
I'll say I was definitely like, okay.
I'm pretty excited to see what Madlib has, and not to say like Madlib is like getting his flowers now for what he did with Gibbs, but people are looking at Bandana like
Gibbs. You mean like he created one of the most important hip hop albums, Mad Villainy?
That too,
but Gibbs.
Yes, Goodman. The problem is that people unfortunately do not remember you for your previous work. They remember you for your current work. And right now, because of Bandana and the work that those two did, it's been heralded as one of the biggest albums, hip hop albums in a long time, like rap albums. Like we watched that album not get nominated for anything, but everyone in hip hop said it was the best album of that year. So that's why I brought it up. And to see him work with Pusha T is going to be a little interesting, just with the elite drug bars that Pusha T gives us and the legend that is Madlib.
I hope that Pusha actually comes out with something good.
Daytona was good. What are you talking about?
I hope he comes out with something that lasts. Some actual hits.
Daytona's... You want to do this right now?
You know how I feel about Pusha, but...
Goodman, how do you feel? Madlib, Pusha T, what do you think? Oh, you're using your dramatic pauses. Oh, okay.
I think it's gonna be good.
And said a lot of smirk.
And that's about it. Like I think that this will age better than Daytona. I believe in ad-libs, not ad-libs. I believe in Madlib's production quality, and he's just one of those people who like kind of makes music that feels a little bit timeless to me. Like I don't think like his drums age like they're dated, and I think I'll be real. No, I mean I could shade it. It could be shade. I don't give a fuck. But I think most of Kanye's recent work it's kind of pointed where like it brings up 2018, and I don't always want to think about 2018 when I listen to music. Sometimes I want to appreciate it right now, if that makes sense.
That makes complete sense.
So yeah, I think I like maybe I think I can listen to one song off of Daytona now and be like, oh, this is a great song.
What song is it?
Give me a second.
It's only 7.
Look at my. Let me.
It's only 7. It's not that hard. Like you can literally close your eyes and you're past the whole album.
No, I can't. Again, I told you, I just listened to that one song.
Yo, Jade want to be right about this so bad.
I know I'm right. It just did not last long. As long as everybody like it was the new scribe of rap, and I was like, no, it isn't. You like Pusha. We get it. A lot of people like him, but sometimes it just does not age long.
Oh, if you know, you know.
The first song?
Yeah, because it's in like a few of my playlists.
The problem for me is like once I get into if you know, you know, like I go right into the games we play and right into hard piano. Like that first 3, just that product placement is just really, really good.
I get it. For you me, like Pusha Daytona, but you're dragging it now.
All right. Other music news. Ice Cube talked about the 30th anniversary of America's Most Wanted, which was really dope. I thought that was really cool. Just getting the backstory about that album and how that changed hip hop, and that being an album he did after he left NWA and working with Chuck D and working with Large Professor. And yeah, you know what I mean? We don't took like I feel like Ice Cube, like I don't know, I feel like he just doesn't get his flowers. Like everybody just be like, we be clubbing, and that'd be the end of it.
I gave you the hot take the other day. It's the same issue with the versus battle. It was the same issue with I feel like the same issue with Ice Cube, Ludacris, and LL is the same issue. They transitioned into music. They transitioned to movies and TV quickly in their careers, and they stayed in that. And people have forgotten and kind of, in a way, tried to diminish their musical legacies because a lot of kids, a lot of people remember them from being on shows and being on TV. And I feel like Luda's, that's why I really like the versus battle that Luda between Nelly, because even me, as somebody who owned a lot of those Ludacris albums, I had forgotten them. And forgotten some of the songs and how many features he had and how many hits he had at that time. But because we see him just every year in a new Fast and Furious, people forget, and they really thought that Nelly was going to mop him when that just wasn't the fucking case.
So who do you think won? Who do you think won?
We know Luda won.
Like,
it's
resounding.
Okay, so let's talk about the versus battle, because there's no other songs to talk about. Let's talk about music. And then let's talk about the versus. The versus battle was Saturday, and it was Nelly versus Luda. Leading up to it, every playlist and everybody was on the timeline, excluding me, saying that Nelly was good as gold. Cash money, give him the ring, put up the banner. And I was like, no. I instantly said from the beginning that Luda was going to win because I knew that Luda had crazy features and Luda just had big songs. Now, Nelly, culturally, as in look, style, he was repping for St. Louis. His rap was a little different because it was St. Louis. He's repping the Midwest, which really wasn't something that was repped hard at the time when Nelly came out, especially St. Louis. It hit a tone. But at the end of the day, the heavyweight was Luda. Luda was already a staple in the Atlanta music community. And when he came out, he hit the ground running and he never stopped. His second single was Southern Hospitality. He had Neptunes. Like, he had Neptunes at a time that nobody thought that a Southern guy was going to get the Neptunes in that way. Luda came in off the gate, and those first 2 albums was just cash. Those videos were hitting. That nigga had a Spike Jonze video, okay? Like that, like Luda, whereas Nelly had great videos that maybe the hood lived for because, okay, he got on do-rags, he got all these women, he got the baddest IG honeys. Luda had culture. He was rapping heavy, and I feel like a lot of rappers from the South were not given the same love as like Outkast, but Luda was really a rapper. He wasn't rapping in the South in his drawl. He was like, I'm spitting these bars. I'm giving you the speed. Nelly was cooler, but Luda was the thing. He just was. If you knew he got on the track, he was gonna give you that feature. Period.
All
and
right.
once Nelly started getting money,
Luda was dope. I will say that I didn't gravitate to Nelly's music like that. Like I didn't really care for the harmonizing. I didn't care for most of his music. Like I knew a lot of his music, but like it was funny how Luda was always making a point. Like they both been in the game the same amount of time. They both have had the same amount of top 10 records. They
Luda
both
has had
have
more.
had the same. Oh, he had more, but they both have the same amount of Grammys. Like Nelly, like he was popping the craziest amount of shit, and I'm like, yo, dude, you'll have the same amount of accolades, and Luda has better music. Like I can say Nelly has.
How do you think
he has bigger records?
All right,
completely understand
I'm gonna
and get it.
finish his statement, and we're gonna because clearly it's
I have the list.
Me and Saul agree that Luda won. Now, why do you think with the 3-4 songs that Nelly picked that was ridiculous. Garbage that you think that Nelly?
I have the list.
Why do you think Nelly won?
It's not.
I have it scored.
We heard it, but we heard it. Like we heard it.
Know the song.
Like we saw it.
Yeah, and I feel like Nelly won.
We knew when Nelly would win first, and we knew when Luda went first. And Luda always answered with a better record.
Not
always.
Really.
Like, okay, he had like 4 where he's dealing with somebody that had a bigger record. So obviously, yeah, that's number 1. That shit is global. Nelly can clearly fucking tour. Nelly has a tour. Luda does not have to tour because he's making multi-million-dollar movies. But quite frankly, Luda's music is better. He has better features. He has better production.
Thank you.
It was like Manny versus Scott Storch. Like you're talking about something, yeah. Like Nelly has those 2 songs with Diddy. Congrats, but Luda's worked with everybody,
bruh.
And they made good records. Didn't he play the was it Gwen Stefani featuring him?
No, he didn't even play that.
Get out of my face. Do it. Let's go. Through.
Come on, say the list, Rob.
Just say it.
All right, I got
you. Tell you lost again.
Yo, why y'all so angry? Y'all so angry. All right, how I got it. Welcome to Atlanta. 999. I gave 999. I like 999 over.
That's where you went wrong, right off the top.
Pussy Poppin', I gave it to Tip Drill. My Chick Bad, I gave it to Pimp.
Pause there. Let's stop. Everybody knows Pussy Poppin' was the better song. Tip Drill was the better video.
And it clearly wasn't, since it ruined his career for like 5-6 years.
But we all know that Pussy Poppin' was the better song, but Tip Drill was the better video because the video got more response than the song. The song had been out there. The video is what got everybody going crazy.
Everybody was talking about the credit card swipe.
Thank you. It was never about the fucking song. It was about the fucking video.
Give me some bars from the record.
Keep going. You said that one.
It must be your ass because it ain't your face. You got a Tip Drill.
I said bars. I said not the hook.
It was about the video.
I gave him Use a Hole over Flap Your Wings. I gave Ride With Me over Saturday. I gave Country Grammar over What's Your Fantasy. I gave him.
All right, I would give that to Country Grammar because it was a bigger record, but it's not a better song. It's not a better song.
I gave
videos and not over songs.
I gave Roll Out to Ludacris. I gave Splash Waterfalls to Ludacris. I gave Nasty Girl Remix over O. Like that.
I'm gonna pause right here again. This is the song. Right, pause right here. This is the song that Hov said I had to start looking at you, and you as a Hov fan gave it to Nelly.
I like that song a lot.
No, that's ridiculous. That shit right there puts
was a huge record. Bro, you're an op. Like
I gave Major Look remix to Ludacris.
No, okay. I thought you was gonna say Rock the Mic because I was gonna snuff you because
all of a sudden when he's disrespecting a Bronx legend, when you're disrespecting a Bronx legend,
Yo, why are y'all so angry? Y'all just so angry. So I gave the Dano remix, of course, because that Dano remix is incredible. This y'all may be upset, but I gave Where the Party At over Yeah. I like Where the Party At a lot. I gave Grills over Stand Up. I gave Air Force Ones over.
All right. Let's write. What's the next topic?
Air Force One over Southern Hospital. Yo, how you gonna tell me about list?
What's the next topic? We're done.
You're done.
You're gonna wrap this up.
Everybody already concluded that Luda won, and you're fucking talking about
New media. All right, cool. Avatar is on Netflix, and I'm hyped. Avatar is one of my favorite cartoons.
I think that Avatar it's a really special. It's like good TV. You know, like that's one of those things that, you know, just across the gamut, everybody was watching. And the very fact that, you know, it was an American, like it's an American production, granted using a whole lot of Asian motifs, but it was honestly so well done. And I can't rewatch it because I don't like crying. There's enough for me to cry about. I'm not going to cry over a cartoon right now.
So I'm gonna
you're talking about the one with Aang, not with Korra.
No, I loved both.
I didn't like Korra.
That's because there's something wrong with you.
Well, okay, so
so beautiful to me.
So what was so beautiful about it? Because I felt like she was very angry. There was a lot of emotion there, but there was a lot of growing up that Aang had to do. And there was a lot more responsibility that Aang had to take because he had missed 100 years. 100 years. Things had changed. Opposed to
they're
Korra.
Completely different conversations. They're completely. Aang is a fucking orphan, okay, and his family is gone. Korra is coming of age. Korra act like we did. She's coming of age in a time of technology where she's trying to fucking balance her spiritual self and the technological advancements of her society. Meanwhile, she's trying to understand her feelings for a woman, a girl. Like, yeah, I absolutely am convinced that Korra was queer. And I love it. I absolutely love it because she tried the whole shit with one of the boys and then she tried the whole shit with another one of the boys. And I was like, yo, you clearly don't like any of these niggas. And that's okay. But it was also just it was a well-made show. Like they continued.
Even with the pro bending?
Huh?
Even with the pro bending and you were into all of that?
Yeah, it's a natural progression. Look at how we how we as a society treat spirituality. Mm-hmm. And you know, we ain't really got, you know, proof necessarily of it, but like all the forests had been torn down. There were none of the spirit animals were around in the same way. It was only until the end of Korra where like Earth was like, or whatever planet they're on, it was like, no, we're gonna take this shit back. Like it was beautiful, man. The entire show was beautiful.
Well, supposedly Netflix is working on the next installment of the Avatar.
Oh yeah, and they're like, no, they're gonna redo it, but they're gonna be like, yeah, it's gonna be done right.
I think they're doing a movie over, right?
Yeah, I think they're doing a series or something like that. They're working on One Piece. I don't know if a lot of people read or watch
the show, the cartoon.
Yeah, they're doing a live action.
Isn't that like 8 million episodes?
Close. There's like 900 of them. There's like 1,000 chapters. No, there's like 800, 600, 700. I don't watch the anime, but I think Netflix, after how they fucked over Death Note, are like, okay, we're gonna do this, do it right.
They gave Spike Lee a new movie. Am I keeping this in? Because I feel like we all did the same time.
That is really. I don't know.
Stop?
I don't hate Spike Lee movies, but it's just a thing of like, because I did like Black Klansman, but
I did not like Black Klansman.
But Spike Lee movies are very 50-50.
I like all of his documentaries. I like his documentary. He's 50-50 as in when he does a documentary, it's good, and when he does a movie, it's bad.
Okay.
That's
so, but should we his people feel like we critique Tyler Perry too much, and after watching Blackest,
all fucking critique Tyler Perry. He's a fucking terrible.
But he does have a niche audience that enjoys his work, and they support him. So should we do the same for Spike Lee?
I think everybody. I think a lot of it is necessary. I think this is necessary. I think Tyler Perry is necessary. I think when black people are like, oh, like this makes black people look bad. No, you make black people look bad because you are not fucking, you out here not respecting like all the different cultures, all the different ideas of what blackness is and all the different expressions of blackness. You're talking about a man who had Cicely Tyson and Maya Angelou in the same movie. Watching women, little grown-ass women pretend to be like little teenage cousins twerking, like and drinking 40s with their cousins. Like that shit was weird.
Playing Bill Withers' grandma's hands. That was a very powerful scene.
Yeah, it like Cicely Tyson almost about to pass out. Over everything.
Keeping it a buck, the Cicely Tyson Maya Angelou scene is great as a meme than it was a movie scene.
The point is,
why are you like this? Why are you like this? Now I have to ask you, like, goodness, why are you like this? This is not necessary.
On This Land is a great meme, but I hated the movie.
I think that all these forms I think that there is obviously a place for Spike Lee movies. I just think
where you put him?
Style, his probably Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime will take anything, but I think
he had his movies
like his storytelling style, his narrative style. A lot of it is dated. Like, and sometimes it works, but most times it doesn't. Like Chirac is unwatchable. The Sweet Blood of Jesus, unwatchable.
Yo, black people, I've never seen black people come at Spike Lee. Like literally, I felt like Spike Lee was almost done when he came out with Sweet Blood of Jesus, and then he started doing the block parties, and then people were like, all right, let me get off of him. But when he came out with the Sweet Blood of Jesus, black people were like, get him out of here. Get him.
Just as bad as, remember, we went into quarantine.
Huh?
We went into quarantine with a bad Tyler Perry flick.
Okay, listen, please know that I never wanted to watch that Tyler Perry movie. But my girlfriend and her friends were determined that we should watch the Tyler Perry movie for a context. And I watched that movie, and I literally ranted the rest of the night about how terrible that fucking movie, Tyler Perry movie was.
It's endearingly bad.
It's not endearing to me. I feel the same way about white movies. If I watch a bad white movie, it's the same thing. And I'm like...
What's the bad white movies?
Bad white movies?
What because Martin Scorsese never misses, it seems like, even when the movie is long as fuck.
I mean, was The Irishman that great?
The Irishman was fucking amazing.
Martin Scorsese,
although he be snitching,
tells gangster movies. Like,
so I can't
nobody else recognizing how
story outside of what he knows.
He tells the same story. Like, he's one dimensional.
Thank you.
Like, I hate fucking Quentin Tarantino. He's a fucking racist, and he's an asshole to women. But that motherfucker has range. He has range. Once upon a time in Hollywood, like,
that was a great movie.
Leo, my God,
it's a great movie. I would watch Kill Bill on any day. Like, still.
And
Jackie Brown is my shit.
He assaulted Uma Thurman on that fucking set.
And I'm still like, give me another Kill Bill.
Still want another Kill Bill. Like, we have a whole storyline that we need to finish. Please, can we get to it?
Yeah.
I need to see what this old black girl gonna do.
But,
so yeah.
Yeah, there is some white movies that I will never go see. Certain things with Rebel Wilson and like Pitch Perfects and certain things that Ryan Murphy does, and I'm like, you're trying it.
Ben Affleck?
You're a gay, so you're trying it as a white
Ben
gay.
Affleck?
Ben Affleck too.
Fucking face.
So Mark Wahlberg, certain things I don't watch. So it's like I'm not. And even Steven Spielberg, and I love Steven Spielberg, but sometimes he stinks it up too. So it's like
Clint Eastwood?
same thing.
I like Gran Torino though.
Yeah, but then also to some of his movies, I'm just like, all right, enough. So I give everybody the same smoke. Tyler Perry especially annoys me just because you've made your own, as he said, table. But it's like, what's the point of you made your own table and all you serving is fucking Arby's?
Don't do Arby's like that.
Understand? Like, what's the point?
Well, BET is giving him the bag. Like BET just needs to change from BET to like the Tyler Perry network.
Because my thing is like it's in the words of Salt, it's one-dimensional content. To me, you cannot be the Black Entertainment Channel and only have content from one person. You're 90% of your content on your streaming service that you make people pay for, and on your TV, most of it is from two people: Lena Waithe and Tyler Perry. And I have issues for both of them for separate reasons. And I feel like you cannot represent all parts of Black community that they are now with just two people on your channel making the content.
But we know they wouldn't have, we know Issa Rae wouldn't have given Issa Rae the leverage that she needed to build Insecure.
It's not really
They
talking
don't
about
have diverse content as they used to have in the 2000s. I think that's the whole issue with the channel.
The fact is that I don't think BET has the budget to actually deal with any of these showrunners. Like, think about the showrunners that we know. The dude who does Blackish and now Black as Fuck, he got picked up by Netflix. You think BET has Netflix money? They ain't got
Kenya Barris money. They don't got Shonda Rhimes money. They don't got Lena Waithe money, and they don't got Issa Rae money.
Well, they had a little bit of money for Lena Waithe. That's why. She gave him one show, but it's Larry Wilmore. Like Larry Wilmore is the one that's kind of got the stable over at HBO, that's able to bring out a lot of these Black effects.
But that's the thing. It's like, why does HBO and Showtime have sometimes better Black content than the Black entertainment?
Because blame Viacom for not giving BET a better budget. But you know what? Maybe Black people are gonna watch that shit anyway because Black people love to hate BET.
I don't think people love BET.
Yeah, we do.
No. I liked BET in the 2000s because there was plenty of content to watch. If I was 14 and I wanted to watch Shirtless Boys, then I could watch 106 & Park till the cows come home. If I wanted to hear
how you treating them now, 20 years later?
Has nothing to do with that. There was Teen Summit. There was Midnight Love. There was all the things and video. There was Cedar's World. There was hits from
Nightly News.
It was Nightly News.
Viacom
doesn't give a shit about any of that stuff. That's why when they
but I watched it. I did watch BT more.
But they scrapped it. Like it's all Viacom.
But also they scrapped a lot of it when Rob Johnson left.
Yeah. Is BET the New York Knicks of media?
It is, because how do you get rid of the #1 rated show on the network just because you don't like They Shaking Ass? Deborah Lee. There's grown people that stay up at 1 o'clock and want to see booty, and it was the #1 show on the network, and you cut it. Hater.
That's why they asked Free for. I mean, not free. Yeah, Free. Wasn't that the whole big thing? Because she put out a remix, and she was she got like real explicit in that motherfucker, and that's what it was.
Remix.
2 days later, AJ is crying on the couch talking about 106 and Park.
Has this puritanical attitude.
Yo, we need a 30 for 30 on 106 and Park. We need a 30 for 30 on 106 and Park.
Forget that Bow Wow.
Yeah, but my thing is I've never liked BT because they got so puritanical about things. Like you could have people making tasteless jokes about homophobes and whatever on Comic View, but BT and Cut was a bridge too far. Please.
Hey, that 50
It's
Cent.
really what it was.
That 50 Cent video, little mama, how you move, that shit was crazy on BET Uncut. That was a moment.
How do you get rid of the show? That's just bad business.
Yo, Goodman, I saw you wanted to talk about Little Fires Everywhere. I haven't watched it. How is it? All I see is a Kerry Washington meme.
I have not watched it either.
Dude, y'all need to legitimately watch it. You said that shit last episode. Like,
there's other stuff that I'm watching. I'm still trying to finish Harley Quinn.
Good.
That's one of the greatest cartoons on streaming right now, Harley Quinn. Okay, so relax.
So anyway, I think that Kerry Washington and Reese Witherspoon, like, they play. They're definitely typecast. You know, Kerry Washington's playing that like mysterious but mildly aggressive woman. If you push her into a corner, she'll snap at you. And Reese Witherspoon is playing the Karen, and she plays it very like it's them at their highest point. The kids that are in it really bring a lot of depth. It's based on this book by actually by an Asian woman who is really, it's not based on a true story. That's something that's really been out there, but it is based on her life in this like it's a liberal town, but they're racist. And that's something that I've like kind of recognized. Like liberal people and conservative people can both be racist as fuck. And just how they navigate this world and how their kids kind of come of age over the course of a year. Well, it's not even a year. Like everything like wows out in like within like 5 to 8 months. And it's a really good fucking show. Like it's a really stressful fucking show too.
It's only the first season, right?
Yeah, and I really hope there's a second season.
10 or 13 episodes.
I think 8.
Really?
Like not that long. Not that long. But it's really like every episode is so heavy. You're like winded because everything is kind of tense and you don't know exactly what's going on. All you know, and this is why I can say, is that Reese Witherspoon's house burns down.
I do know that.
That's how the shit starts. Like the book is.
All I see is a Kerry Washington meme, well, her on the wall, and I've seen multiple different ways to look at this meme. All of them have made me uncomfortable, but no one has. I've seen it. It's been from getting up every day, realizing it's the same day, to taking anal for the first time, and I'm like, yo, what? This meme is just really has a mind of its own right now.
Got a mind of its own, yeah.
Jade, scammer report. There's a lot going on, although everyone's in the house.
This is why we have to get Trump out of here, because we live in too much of a capitalist society. Because people don't even have their unemployment yet. We ain't even got a second stimmy check yet. And Nike said, I don't care. You are getting releases all goddamn summer. Because there's like 4 this week. But the main thing,
first, I ain't get my LeBrons. I want to point that out. I didn't get my LeBrons.
Okay,
And I hurt.
Rob, justice for Rob for the one pair he didn't get this year.
Fam, those LeBrons I wanted so bad, and they're $500.
Just Robert, because he didn't get the LeBron Lakers, the Lakers LeBron.
The media day LeBron.
The media day LeBron. 7s. The main thing everybody is beat for this week, which I don't know who's getting it, because it doesn't seem like a lot of people are going to have this sneaker, is the Nike SB Chunky Dunky. I love the concept of the Chunky Dunky, the Ben & Jerry's concept of this new SB Dunk. But if this came out in 2008, I would have fought the loop for it. But me, as a 30-something, I don't want to wear these sneakers. For free, yes. For fighting the kids and the bots and raffles, I don't care. But those are releasing this week. Only a few shops. They're just starting to put out that some of the shops doing it. Most of them are releasing them through raffle. The sneaker does not come in the Ben & Jerry's box. I think it's been confused now because people see that friends and family, people who skate for Nike SB are getting the actual Ben & Jerry's pint container, and the sneakers are in
with
it.
the ice cream. Which is huge, because they have their own flavor ice cream.
They have their own flavor ice cream, and the SB riders are getting the sneakers in the special Ben & Jerry's packaging, a Nike SB Ben & Jerry's packaging, and then it comes with a couple of pints of Ben & Jerry's. But the regular people and the bots are not getting that fucking packaging. We're getting the regular punk-ass, ugly new SB stripe box, and that's it. It's $100. Good luck.
Wait, the We Are For Everybody box, because low-key, like, a lot of people hate that SB box.
I hate that SB box. As a gay and as a street head, I hate that goddamn box, a new stripe SB box. A terrible box. The next thing that's coming out is in Dunks is the Nike Brazils. I know digital is going to try to go up for those two because all clout matters, but it's looking kind of scary out there lately with these Nike releases. They've been coming and going. Now they've seen that they have so many pairs of royal blues highs, but royal blue toes, royal toes. But I don't know why everything else is in such limited. But it's really, really about ones and SBs right now. So those are coming out too. Like I think tomorrow, literally. So
the
good
21st.
luck.
It's the 21st. It's Friday.
Okay, so Friday. But good luck. The North Face collection, the second collection. I realized these North Face collections. I remember Supreme used to just do one North Face collection a season, but now they're doing two. Who knows that they may even be three. But this new one is hard. Like
that bag is mean.
The cargo jackets. You know, Rob is part of Bag Boys, so like he needs a new tote. But you know you don't really carry that tote because it just is probably way heavy.
It's clearly for the stunt because it doesn't look functional.
You clearly have just another fitted in it because I don't see you putting anything that the bag is actually made for to put in it. Exactly.
Why can't I put another fitted in it?
Because this is you. You would have another hat in it just because.
So do you. You keep hats with you all times.
Yeah, but like I also would use the bag for its intended purposes. You would just have it with just a fitted in it and like a phone charger. Like, just don't have
and a brush.
Put it in the other pockets that are in the jacket.
And a brush.
Yeah. But unnecessary. You don't need it now. But the jackets and stuff are all coming out. The cargo pants, the hats, the t-shirts that are also with the collection, those are all dropping Thursday. For the people who care about fits, Levi's 501 Day is coming, and they have a bunch of things that looks kind of fire that are coming out. They have the collab with golf. I like it because it kind of looks like a Damien Hirst, if you know your art. So
it does look like Damien Hirst.
The golf wing white polka dot set is coming out on 501 Day. Then also Beams is coming out with a split jacket, a dark denim and a regular denim jacket. They are literally two separate jackets, but they literally have fused them together. Even the labels are split. Like the regular Levi's label is split like the jacket. So they fused everything together to fit to make one jacket. It was really fucking cool. So 501 Day is having a lot of things. They're doing a lot of online digital content for it. I think that is it. Oh, and then the Jordan. Part of them are Jordan, the first one of the Jordan Metallic pack, which is a fire pack, contrary to what digital believes. The purples are coming out this weekend. Or this week, actually, like Friday. So the purple
Saturday,
metallic. Yeah, Saturday or Friday. Oh, yeah.
Because the Flints are the 30th. The Flints are the 30th. The metallic 4s are Saturday. Yeah.
So metallic 4s, the purples are coming out Saturday. So it's really, Nike's gonna stay on their head. My birthday is coming up soon, so if anybody wants to give me a birthday gift, you can give me those red and white Nike Dunk Lows.
The St. John's, right?
Yes, because I had the highs back when they came out 04, 05. So I would like.
Are you gonna do a comparison video? I'm not doing anything if you're not doing a comparison video.
If
you're not gonna show both.
I don't care to be an elite sneaker person, but that is your path. But so whatever.
Stop making me. The funny thing about that metallic pack is they're releasing them globally, like the first pairs. So only certain countries are getting certain colors.
That's cool. I mean, also too, I wanted to mention that because the country has a deep-seated homophobic vibe. We have canceled Pride, so the gays are pissed anyway, but that's just whatever. That a lot of Pride stuff, a lot of companies are still continuing with their Pride content and Pride products, so there is still, they have a whole pack coming out with Reebok of like Furies, the workouts, things like that are all for Pride Month and Pride visibility. There is Apple. Apple is coming with a whole new bands and faces for the Apple Watches. They have Nike Sport ones that's fire. The Nike Sport Pride watch is actually kind of fire because it literally, if you just wanted the color pack, the Nike bands are fire. They're coming out with for Pride, and they're coming out with a bunch of stripe ones and things for Pride. And I think Adidas is coming out with some Pride stuff as well. So yeah, some companies is still continue with their Pride product, but that's really it for this camera alert. Digital is still probably gonna try to get these chunky dunkies or 4s or.
I don't think I want them. I mean, I know I'm wearing a tie-dye T-shirt now, and I look like a Ben and Jerry's employee, but
I feel like you low-key would want them if you knew it wasn't hard to get.
There's certain shoes that I feel like just don't exist. The Chunky Dunky is going to be one of them. It's just going to be one of those shoes that you see, but you're never going to see anyone ever wear it because I don't think anybody will have enough confidence to wear it, and they'll be too concerned about the resale value. And when the shoe is not out now, and it's $1,800.
I wish Chunky Dunkies came out with the actual packaging. I think Nike sometimes, if I get that they're only $100, but honestly, Nike, how much is packaging? You guys don't make better packaging. Certain sneakers, for you to create a whole Ben and Jerry's thing to get the licensing, it should have come in the pipe packaging that you gave for friends and family.
I think the design team's done an amazing job of what they've done.
Yeah, but people would actually pay more for the sneaker if it had better packaging. Like, yes, for $100, that would have been awesome if you got the packaging and the sneaker for $100. That would be great. But even if the sneaker was $150, almost $200, and we knew we were gonna get that packaging, or it was an option, like, all right, if I just want to pay $100 and get the sneaker because I like it, I can get the regular box. But if I want the deluxe edition, I can get it and pay more money. I think people would pay it.
I'm actually kind of glad we're in quarantine because if we weren't in quarantine and this shoe was releasing, it'd be a madhouse in the city right now.
Yeah, it would be. It would be scary. But that's the scam alert.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Pretty much it.
I don't have anything else. I mean, I'm not getting shit. All my plugs, everything is online, so I can't get anything.
There's one person I do want to show. There is another product, and as a friend of Robbie Digital's and a friend who probably listens to the show occasionally or not. A fellow black man, Jay Tips, is coming out with his Hat Club Subway Series fitted exclusives in the colors that kind of match his sneakers, and a lot of his product that he comes out with in the red and in the purple Subway Series patch on the side. Those are coming out at Hat Club this Thursday, right? Thursday or Friday?
Saturday, I believe, the 23rd as well.
21st, yeah. So those are Hat Club exclusives. Those are coming out. So I wanted to shout out that because that is somebody that's creating a lot of products and stuff like that, especially in this time of quarantine. And I think the hats are dope. So yeah.
It actually made it to StockX just now.
Okay, so
they're taking StockX is taking pre-orders. I think when I talked to Tips, he got someone said $300 for one color. Like, they were just like, yo, I need this hat. Where can I get it from?
I'm not paying $300 for people's fitting.
I'm not paying. No, I'm not. But I am proud of him.
God,
I'm super proud of him.
I'm proud of him. I hope he gets the bag. I'm sure he is. If I got my cause bait fitted for $80, and that shit's like $600 now or more, I'm not paying $300 for people's fitted. If I can't get it on the first day, it's a dub.
But I think it is a testament to his talent, his personality, what he's been doing for the Bronx. His network,
we don't have to get
and his work ethic.
We don't need the Bronx in this. It's cool hats.
Shout out to the Bronx. We don't get a lot of credit for a lot of things.
But that's it for the scam alert.
Mr. Goodman, what is going on in New York City besides us being closed down?
That's it. I mean, it's been really unfortunate. You can see, I really, it's. I don't like Rudy Giuliani, and I don't like Michael Bloomberg, and it turns out I don't like Bill de Blasio because for him to have been the public advocate before he became mayor, and for him to have to be married to a black woman and have biracial children, and to understand the world that they live in, for the police department to continue to unfairly treat the black and brown communities of the city and just kind of get away with it. Like, I think it's just shows how much of a failure of a mayor he's become. Because, you can go to some place like Battery Park and Prospect Park and see white folks and fucking hipsters frisbeeing on top of each other and all that other shit. But you got one black man or black woman without a mask on, like in East New York or Harlem or in the Bronx, and they're face down in the street, being with a knee on their head or in their neck. Like, it's disgusting. And I really absolutely blame de Blasio for that. And
I agree. I mean, what do you think of Cuomo?
Cuomo was what? He was DA before he became governor. Like, he's a straight shooter. He's pragmatic. Like, you know what you get, you know, and you gotta respect that about Cuomo. Like, he's been very straight about the very fact it's like, yo, it's just a lot of people are dying. And when he said, I'm not doing this for a presidential run, no.
Yes.
I do not think that he's going to make a presidential run because I think that he has a whole lot of skeletons in his closet that he doesn't want to get, out. That, he just kind of, I think he's good as a New Yorker and he's happy, where he is right now. Personally, that's what I think. But things can change. Who knows? Like, I think there's term limits when it comes to New York's governor. There might not be. I believe there might have been. You can serve a third term. But nobody is perfect. But you gotta respect Cuomo for just trying to get the job done. And I think that Bill de Blasio is just good for lip service, and all that shit is useless. And it's pitiful. Like, I don't want to hear that shit from you, dog. You're supposed to be the mayor. These are supposed to be your police force. And that
seems like he's nowhere to be found either. Like, I see Cuomo on TV every day. I don't know where Bill
Blasio is just trying to ride this shit out. Cause he's like, these niggas already want my head.
Just get him out of here. He's got one more term. I think it's
Cuomo's trying to campaign. He's trying to. I see Cuomo trying to campaign and do a Giuliani 9/11 move, and you're not fucking low, cause.
But he's doing a great job. Like,
he's doing a good job, but I saw literally before quarantine, people were like, Cuomo could literally slip on a banana peel and fall into a sewer, and I don't care if fucking it gets, if the clown gets to him. But literally, then posted, they were like, oh, he has a nipple ring. He's kind of cute. He's helping us in the quarantine, and all these articles. And I'm like, you're not gonna 9/11 this shit. You're still a fuck boy, and this shit is just trash. But you're in front of the people, and you're giving them updates, which are useful, and we'll give you that. But the minute this shit is clapped, get the fuck on. Don't forget.
Speaking of just transition into politics, Goodman, do you think we're going to get another stimulus check?
Stimmy me!
It's going to be necessary. Eventually.
I love when you do this. When you do this, I feel like that's you doing the political. I'm stressed out too.
And when I'm scratching my eyes. No, I just think eventually, people want to be hopeful, and you know what? They want to believe in they want to believe in the grace of God. They want to believe in American exceptionalism or the medical fields. But I think we really if you look at humanity's relationship with infectious diseases, like, our society is not built to combat them. It's, we're used to killing each other. We're used to killing things that we can see. We're not used to the idea of something that you can't see killing people. And I mean, it's surreal because we're not around each other. But when you start speaking to people, and when you know people who are dying from this shit, it starts to affect you. So I think that eventually, maybe we'll open up, and then everything could potentially get worse. And so at some point, our fucking economy will suffer. People will start suffering. Like, this shit is gonna be huge. Really old people that came up in the Great Depression, they real tight with their money because they know what it is to not have any, and they have to extend a ham sandwich for an entire week. In 40, 50, 60 years, people gonna be looking at us like, damn, them motherfuckers always got some Purell on them.
We're gonna talk about 2020 with our kids. Yo, they pop smoke, shit went fucking left. They clap it's gonna be wicked. We're gonna talk about it 9/11.
Kobe was the greatest, and he died.
2019 was lit in a fucking clap. Kobe, Pop Smoke, they got Andre Harrell, and then they fucking gave us Corona. We're going, it's gonna go in, and they
Trump is president.
Trump is president, and they closed Barney's. Like, I know I'm gonna drag it. Like, and they barely gave us stimulus checks. Like, literally, kids
the
are already
fucking money didn't last.
like
We almost died.
Starting to make things about like their jokes about the stimulus packages. People calling themselves Stimmy Turner, like Stimmy Turner. Like, you're getting crazy.
Stimmy Turner.
Yeah,
it's we're really trying to figure out, because like, yeah, it's a crazy experience, and like that's why I'm like, yo, I get it that people are looking for escapes, and people are, you know, looking for ways to just kind of like get their mind off of things. But honestly, like, we're all in it, you have a right to like cope in however you need to cope, because this is some fucking like once in a lifetime shit that we're dealing with. Or maybe it's the new normal. Like, viruses like this can appear, like shit like this, and we're just not equipped to handle it. Like, yo, mad people, we don't really think about the fact, because I mean, but like what, 8,000 people died during that SARS outbreak during Obama's time. Like, mad people died, and like even more mad people are dying right now. Like,
Even more mad people.
But like,
yeah,
it's like we're in this together. Like, yo, we're all in this together. Even if you want to be a bold motherfucker and be like, well, I don't give a shit, I'm gonna be out here, I'm a picnic, and I'm gonna go to the beach and frolic and shit. Like, you're doing that with a level of rebelliousness against what's going on. You're still trying to cope.
I wanna piggyback on something that you said with we're all being in this together. Have you looked at Jerusalem? Have you looked at Palestine and the Jews and the Israels, and how Israel's moving? Like, everyone's like, we're all dying. This whole religion thing, we're gonna have to put this on pause, because we really need to figure this out, because no one can fight if everyone's dying. And I thought that was huge, that no one was talking about that.
Nobody's talking about it, because everybody is suffering everywhere. But I will say, if there is a zombie apocalypse, I'm taking my ass to Jerusalem, just like in World War Z, because them Jews over there know what the fuck they're talking about. I don't give a shit about none of this. I don't give a shit about none of this geopolitical, ethno-religious shit. Niggas just gotta survive. I'm taking my ass to Jerusalem.
What is it, Jerusalem?
I'm be out here like, yo, I'm Shine's little brother.
good luck.
It's a long way away, my
Y'all
nigga.
look
Yeah,
up.
like that's wow. If you make it there, Jesus.
Speaking of that, did
like,
you see Homeboy on the news that was at sea for 3 months and came back and saw that the world was different? He had went on a trip. He had went on retirement, got his boat, and was like, yeah, man, I really want to do this. And he just went. And the only thing he was getting from his wife was emails about what was going on in the world. And then he came back, and he was just like, they got off the boat, and he was like, oh my God. And he went to go touch everybody. He was like, hey, say what?
Nah, relax. Yo, like,
but he's been in quarantine.
What we've been through.
I need to be safe, because I'm seeing too many block parties. I'm seeing too many shootouts at parks.
Yeah, somebody got shot over here. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, too, in the news that wasn't talked about is that 2 people died at Carl Crawford's house because he had a barbecue, and 2 people drowned in his pool.
Again?
Wait, they drowned in his pool?
Yes, a child and the mother. And I'm like, how about we don't have kickbacks in a quarantine? And I just need niggas in the hood to stay home, because I'm seeing too many people.
They're not doing block parties, Jade, just because you.
No, in Florida, they are doing block parties.
That's what I'm saying. I had to report the hood news. The hood news is everyone's piling up in cars and going to Miami to party. Because they're like, well, I can't party in New York.
Or they're going to Atlanta because they're seeing it open.
Yeah.
And I need people to, like, I don't understand how people in New York are getting popped if you're in your quarantine. That technically means you should be safe. And also, too, I'm seeing, like, I read a bunch of stuff in Atlanta, all kind of shootings and stuff happening, fights in the park. And I'm just like, if you're going to come outside, wear your mask and, like, relax. Like, just enjoy the fresh air. Like, why is it got to be, like, we bringing the smoke back from 2018? Like, chill out.
Domestic violence is up, too.
Yeah.
Domestic violence is up 30% in New York City.
Yeah, and like they saying that they can't see if there's any child abuse going on because like the kids aren't in school. I think like like this is the society that we live in. like it's cracking, you know, and I'm, you know, I'm not going to knock anybody that's just trying to cope however they can with this, you know, but like, you know, as a podcast, I just want to bring it up and talk about it because like there's mad shit that we, you know, can't even talk about or do, you know, or related to the podcast because everything's shut down. You know, there's not as much music coming out. You know, the way we listen to music is different because everything is shut down. Like,
nigga, we would have been way bigger than what we are if we would have known we could have did this from home. Like, if you really want to, like, you want to keep it, like, nigga, we started podcasting in 2016. If we would have known we could just do this from home, literally, fam, come on now.
and have video now, like seamless video.
Shout out to
Like,
Zoom.
this is how it works.
Zoom is like $300 million in stock shares now. The niggas is booming. They don't know what to do with all this money.
It's like we want to get through. We want to get race to be normal so bad, but it's like we're doing everything. And I'm saying we because we're a society. Like we're all in this together, and we are doing things to extend this. Like, yo, you want to open up the economy, right? Stay fucking home. Encourage your fucking congressman to find whatever resource that they can to buy tests, so that way we have an idea of what's going on. Yo, or just stay the fuck home. Like, and like we can't do any of it. We won't do any of it. Refuse. So it's like we're in this. This is where we are.
Well, now that we're together, let's get to the moment that we've been waiting for and what we really came to podcast, Insecure. This is what we really come together every 2 weeks for. And shout out to the listeners. If you didn't know, we are bi-weekly now again because there's nothing to talk about in a week's time. We will see you in 2 weeks. Like I don't know. Like I don't want to keep crying on Zoom calls about wanting to go outside and be a thought. Like I'm not doing it. So this is where we're at, and this is what we're doing. Insecure. First of all, I'm saying this is all Issa's fault. This is all Issa's fault.
What?
It worked out great because like
terrible hot takes this week, bro.
We were able to watch both episodes, like to watch the block party and the aftermath. Mm-hmm. And you know, I can't blame Issa for doing what she had to do to see the success of the show. I can understand Molly being upset. I don't understand her being that fucking upset. Like that's ridiculous. But you know, Issa had to do what she had to fucking do for her event, and Molly has been very disappointing.
How to be different than Saul's point? How, Rob, do you in some way in your cockamamie mind think that this is Issa's fault in any way?
I don't think Issa should have reached out. I feel like she manipulated Nate in a sense to speak to Andrew.
Oh my God. Are you serious?
Well, we literally saw at the beginning of the last episode.
And Nate said that he was willing to do it. Because it's nothing to ask his roommate. Yo, can you put...
And his boy... They literally, because everybody was saying that, they put that in the first few minutes of the episode to say, Issa, talk to him. Hey, I want to apologize for putting you in the middle of this. Hey, it was no problem. You seem stressed. I wanted to help. Like a true fucking friend.
And it's not a big deal. And that's the thing with when it comes
and
to...
And even Intro said, dudes, it was
like,
nothing.
I'm going to give you shit. I mean, if you my mans, you piss me off about some shit. And you my mans, like you my guy. And you come to me because you need some help and I'm mad at you. Like, I'm going to give you shit. But I'm going to help. Like, what the fuck was Molly on? Like,
if you're like really need the help.
What kind of life lesson do you think you're teaching your grown-ass best friend about not helping her? Dude, like, obviously a fucking one of the biggest experiences of her life.
This is also the shade of it. because I like that people, because I'm so glad we waited long to talk about this. In the time between the block party episode and the episode that we just saw this past Sunday of the aftermath of Issa and Molly going on their own separate paths, or mostly Issa. The episode was really just about Issa going in her own different way without the friends and really kind of just figuring out her head. That in the beginning of this season, when Issa is in opening ceremony with Molly talking about the block party, Molly's like, oh, you're doing your thing. You need help with it. I know Andrew, and Andrew works for Rock Nation. So guess what? You know people with connections too. So who is the fuck boy in this? Fucking Molly, because this is why Molly's whack. You, in the beginning of the season, you literally, in that moment when you two are shopping because shit was sweet, you offered Issa to use Andrew to say, hey, you know somebody influential Rock Nation, because she was cool with Issa. But now you felt away because you don't understand why Issa is hanging out with Lawrence. You don't like that Issa and Condola got comfortable.
Condolences.
Her name is Condola, fine. Her name Condola got comfortable. You don't like that she doesn't have time for you. And then when she actually is in a bind and needs some help, I need my relationship to be separate. When literally your boyfriend and everybody else around you said it was nothing to help it. And also too, Andrew said, I literally sent an email. And also too, why wouldn't you want me to help your best friend? And they were really in a jam. Molly is completely and 150% wrong in this whole thing, period. Issa is not a user. When Issa was in between jobs, she was not begging Molly to find her a job and this like that. Issa was catching wreck from her friends without asking her friends to stay on her couch by staying on her ex-nigga's couch and still catching wreck from her homegirls. When Issa could have easily just said, you know what, I'm tired of you hoes talking about me like I'm a whack bitch and a hoe because I'm sleeping on Daniel's couch and I'm just going to suck it up and stay with one of you hoes. And she didn't even do that. So in what way has Issa at all been a user in this past season and a half, these 2 seasons, when she's literally needed to do something and did it? Because if Issa hadn't pulled that trigger, talked to Nathan, if Nathan just happened to ask, who would have been the first person to be like, see, girl, like, you just bit off more than you could chew. Like, I know you wanted to do this block party, and it seemed real nice, but look what happened, girl. You couldn't even get Vince Staples and Schoolboy Q. You just need to go back and get a corporate job and stop this stuff. Who would have said it?
I don't think Molly
would have said that shit.
Kelly, and Tiffany would have said that to Issa if she hadn't finished it.
Tiffany would have,
and
Molly would
Molly
have said that shit.
She would have said that shit.
It's been a running theme for, I think, especially last season, or maybe like the season before last. But usually, like, Molly is not nice to Issa, or in the experiences that they have. Like, it really seems like Molly has a problem with Issa growing and maturing as a person. And so it's like, it's weird for me to see Molly talking about, Issa having to come up and, putting her down for that. But then when Issa's taking that initiative, now she's jealous because, oh, we ain't spending the time anymore and this and that. And it don't feel right. It's like you want her to kind of always need you, but then you ridicule her. But then you ridicule her for needing you. It's messy. It's messy. It feels dirty.
On it.
How do you feel about the girls using her in this episode as a scavenger hunt piece?
Oh, that shit was terrible. Terrible. The funny thing is that when I first went to LA in October, I saw them filming the scene when Issa is having the imagination scene of her busting the girl on the head with the picture. They were filming it in the neighborhood that I was staying in the Arts District in LA. But I totally thought the girls were terrible, but I thought that these were all lessons that Issa has to learn. That Issa has to kind of stand on her own 2 feet. She can't just also compensate for overcompensate by helping that pregnant woman, by driving that annoying ass old man, crotchety old man around and just dealing with those girls. I do, one thing outside point is that I think that Kyla Pratt should be on some kind of show because she's too good of an actress to not be on any major show right now. So I'm glad they just brought Kyla Pratt back, like, and had her as a character on the show. But I was just like, yeah, you don't need to do this. You need to either find some friends that fuck with you, but don't be just hanging out with these random bitches.
So Condola's not it.
I don't think Condola deserves anything besides Issa to just chug her a deuce.
Condola, she was whack.
Because she was whack for it because you had no problem with me when you were dating my ex and everything was cool. But suddenly when me and my ex are not talking and you're not with him, then we're not cool and we're supposed to be working this block party together and you dip for like 3 weeks. No, girl, we're not fucking cool. Goodbye. You're lame because you got caught up in feelings over some dick and then you dipped and left me with all the shit to do in my hand, and then you still show up. Like, hey, girl. No. Good. Stay where you at.
Have you had friendships you've outgrew?
Yeah.
Completely. And I think that's 100% okay.
Friendships that have outgrown me. Life goes on.
Yeah. Truth. In both ways. I agree. I think that's okay. I think that we as humans, we get so caught up in sentimentality that we don't realize when sometimes we need to cut things loose.
I'm terrible with that.
We're so caught up in the set, like, well, I've known them for 10 years and they saw me when I was down bad and, oh, they used to run with me in the streets. And sometimes as you grow up, those people can't come with you and you need to learn how to cut them or they learn how to cut you off if they don't feel like you're a part of their journey. But we get so caught up on sentiment that we keep sometimes toxic things carrying on.
But I would also say that people are also very transactional about a lot of their friendships. It's like, yo, like you're providing something and you're receiving something. So if you feel like you're providing more than you're receiving, like it's a problem. Maybe there's ebbs and flows, or maybe it's not a big fucking deal. Like I could understand that, like some people, you know, some people, you're just all different, you know, and like maybe if you just let people be who they are and not what you expect them to be, like you'd be okay. Y'all two would be okay as well.
I think shout out to Kelly and our guest Tiffany too, because they really want them to salvage this friendship.
I don't know if it's salvageable, especially the way Molly was bucking up on Issa, like you were gonna fight. We can have a disagreement all you want, or agree to disagree. But once we are friends and we ain't never put no hands to each other, and you gonna square up with me, yeah, I don't know if we ever gonna be cool again.
How do we feel about Issa going to her mom?
I think everybody has
going to her mom, dude. It's her mom. I'm surprised.
No, I'm just saying like
we've quicker.
That's what I'm saying. We've never seen that before.
Yeah,
so I thought that was.
And that's why it was a surprise. Like everybody was surprised. I mean, like I guess she doesn't have a very good. Maybe she did. Like that's the nature of their relationship. Where, because I mean, like Issa's been through some shit. Like Issa's been homeless, but she ain't never gone back home. You know, so.
I'm still don't understand how Rob thinks that Issa is the bad one here, but
someone has to be devil's advocate.
For the same reason why he thinks Nelly won that versus battle.
Nelly won.
No,
nobody cares. Nobody
believes you in either of these arguments.
Well, it is what it is. Guys, you already know what it is. It is public service announcement. It is never a safe space.
Shout out to Saul for having some great points because we needed somebody to have some sense here because you clearly...
If you cut me off trying to do the ending one more time. The beginning and the ending, you are something else.
Nelly Law.
Shout out to, all right, all the shout outs. Shout out to Mr. Goodman for always being the voice of reason. Shout out to me to always being terrible so he can be the voice of reason.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Shout out to, because the voice of reason can't be a voice of reason if he doesn't have a protagonist to be the voice of reason.
Protagonist?
He used the
protagonist. Or antagonist.
You heard that word, Paul?
Antagonist.
Look, dog. You just need the conversation, which is great.
Shout out to everybody who listens to our show, our YouTube listeners. Shout out to our longtime listeners, as well as people who have been refer to the show through friends. We greatly appreciate you guys. We will be back in the next 2 weeks. So
Or just
you will have video content and you will have the actual episode. This is public service announcement.
Different T-shirt, same brand. Shout out to Jockey. Y'all are very comfortable.
Wow.
Yo, can you talk about this Craig David hat you got too? Like, can you fill me in?
I was gonna put I won. This is a gift from my girlfriend because I've always wanted one of the hipster beanies, and two, I wasn't gonna wear my fucking do-rag while I was recording, and I need to put my hair into something. To
I do need a silky now with these new braids. So if y'all know a good silky, I would like some cool prints. I will be doing an episode. So I do need some silkies.
But I mean, like, I think that is still kind of okay compared to you with a fitted and the sticker on.
Yeah, that's a fact.
It's your big fucking age.
The sticker, I mean,
like nobody knows that it's a fucking new era fitted.
Telling you, everybody says
you're grown.
They literally put out a thing that said the Yankee hat rules, and this nigga went against the main rule. Take the sticker off.
It's not on the top of the fitted.
It doesn't matter if it's on the top. Take the sticker off.
Anyway, yo, it's public service announcement. Never say your face. You want to do it for the culture. Never do it for the fucking industry. We out. Bang bang. The fuck is you talking about? You niggas are terrible.
Later.
Rob, everybody has said this now. Even niggas who swore by old hat rules.
Okay.
The sticker gotta go.
Later. I gotta get something to eat. I'll talk to you guys.
Later, folks.